Welcome to Do the Talk podcast. Here at Do the Talk, we teach regular people like you and I how to invest in real estate. If you would like to learn and grow in real estate investment, you have come to the right place. My name is Ibrahim. I am the host tonight, and my co-host is Ahmed Lawal. We have been committed to make sure real estate investment is seamless as much as possible. But we always say this: it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So if you would like to learn and grow with us, this is the right podcast. Ahmed, how are you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. I am doing great.
Awesome.
This particular episode is really to you know, applaud our audience because they have been really loyal and faithful with this podcast, and we really appreciate them. But keep in mind, this is not a get rich quick scheme. We always mention that every Friday. And if you really put in the work, we guarantee that the result is limitless. Like
Yeah.
the potential is there, but you have to put in the work and you have to be comfortable with gratification. You can't just wake up one night and things will change. No, things doesn't just change like that. You have to work it for it to work you. So tonight we are really happy because tonight makes a year that we've started this podcast, and we are still going strong. So we want to leave it open for you guys tonight to be able to come in, ask your question. And an advantage for us as well is for us to analyze some episode that we've talked about in the past, which we know it's going to be beneficial for you, and it's going to kind of bridge the gap, so you can go back and listen to those. So really tonight is really just a fun layback day, but I promise you we're still going to learn a lot because now we are bringing the work of a year into just one episode.
Yes.
So really, if you are really interested in learning on what we've done for the past 1 year, then this is a really good episode to stay glued with. So Ibrahim, I know this is a milestone for us.
Yes.
It is one thing to plan, it is another thing for that particular thing to happen. And when it happens, it is another thing to stay consistent on doing it. So
So
this is the 52nd episode, which is marking a whole year, a whole 365 days of us showing up straight and giving our knowledge back to back. Uh, Let me begin with the starting. What really, what can you tell us? What really trigger this podcast, and also how do we even get started?
yes, that's a very interesting question because I can't believe it. It's 1 year now, very amazing, and I'm glad we are still in it, and we have no intention of quitting. We are going to keep providing valuable lessons and valuable education concerning anything real estate. We love doing what we are doing, and we are committed to keep providing this education to our audience. So, to address your question, you know, it comes with passion. It was like, when you see what is going on around us, particularly you are an investor, I am an investor, and on my side, I'm gonna talk about my side, and you come in on your, talk about your side. I realized that there are a lot of knowledge gap. And when I say knowledge gap, I mean somebody is knowledgeable on this aspect However, that person may not be knowledgeable on the other aspect. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that person is not, you know, educated or teachable or not. It's just that that angle that this person is knowledgeable on, it might not be what is practical at that moment, or it might not really be anything real estate. I realize that the knowledge gap is so huge, and I see that people have this myth or believe that real estate you have to be so rich, or you have to be a citizen, or you have to it's really for the um, you know special isolated people, not for everyone. Just because of the criteria to get into the real estate investment, it looks so huge from afar. Like if you don't know about it, you don't have any contact, any networking, it looks so huge. And so I realized a lot of people would rather invest out of the country. By the way, I don't have any issue with someone investing out of the country, but what I'm trying to get to is that people end up investing in a country that is economically um, not as strong as the United States, and the currency depreciation and the inflation and everything kind of affect the cash flow or the return on the investment. And I when I look around, I realize it's very common, and I kind of observe what is the reason, the root cause of this. And I figured part of the reason is because people have limited knowledge concerning how to actually get into real estate investment. And on my side, I developed the passion and the commitment to kind of come out here and educate people. At the same time, I need more zeal. I need more, someone who's going to energize me as well. Because, of course, we all know that um, energy can be boosted and will be stronger when you have a booster. Because we all know that when you have something that you want to do, sometimes you just get, you know, fatigue sometimes, or you get distracted, or get not enough energy, that zeal to push out the message. So I started looking for a like-minded person, and an investor, someone who understand real estate, and which is the reason why you and I met, because I study you, and I figured that you would be a very fantastic and perfect knowledgeable host or co-host that will provide the valuable education that I have the burning desire to really give it out to people out there, for free, because we are not trying to we are doing this to really educate people. So that was why I reached out, and we met, we talk about it. And one interesting thing I need to say tonight is that, interestingly, you actually have more energy than I do, honestly. Because I'll say this, because I've seen, that commitment is so strong, like even way more than I expected, way more than, like, because I can tell by how you prioritize this podcast, how you manage it, how you make, you're making sure things work the way it's supposed to. Um, so I want to use the opportunity to thank you for your, your steadfastness, your commitment, your zeal, your resilience, because it's not easy. 1 year, just, trust me, 1 year is not just like a breeze. We think it's a breeze just because it comes and we are healthy, we are knowledgeable, we are more knowledgeable, and we have that energy to get, to go get the goal. So it makes it look like it's a breeze, but trust me, it's 365 days. Remember, we all woke up around maybe 5, 6, 7, or 8 or 10. Remember how many hours? Just think about how many hours you've spent going out, doing this, doing that. It's not easy. So for the whole day, it's 24 hours. Now 24 times 365 days is a lot of work. So I don't know if I really answer your question, but the main reason, to summarize it, is because I have that burning desire to make sure everyone is educated, everyone knows how to invest in real estate, everyone understand that real estate is not a rocket science. I'll never say it's easy because nothing is ever easy. Nothing good comes easy. But what I'm really um passionate about, or like really want people to know, is that it is doable. So, and I partner with you, and now we are seeing the benefit. And the good news is, I partner with someone who has more energy than I do. So it kind of boosted me myself. So at the end of the day, it's gonna be a win-win for our audience and for us as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Ibrahim. You really nailed the question. So one thing for me is, you already mentioned it already. You want something, but how bad do you want it?
Yeah,
That is the difference between the successful and the people that quit.
yeah,
How bad do you want it? Because you want to go to school, but if you fail couple of courses, you're gonna profile yourself as someone that is not brilliant.
yeah.
Whereas every idea that comes to be great ideas today or great products today fail 1,000 times before they come to market.
Sure.
So just because you fail one or two times doesn't make you a failure or you are not a brilliant person. So for me, it's just that I believe we want it so bad. It's really not easy, like you mentioned as well. It's not gonna be. I remember a time that you are driving all the way from Michigan. Now we have to have podcast that night.
Yeah,
There are so many things that has happened, that there will be time that I'll be like, oh my god, I will be on the east side of town,
yeah,
and I have to come way back to Plainfield to get this done. So that shows the commitment and how bad we want it. So it's really the beginning was, you already described it, but the one thing that keep us going is how bad do we want it. And
yes,
the real thing also is, uh our community, we don't really normalize talking about investment. We believe, our culture kind of have it, we believe in power so much. Go to work, get paid, and enjoy life. That is what we believe in. But that is not how the rich live their life. We both know
yes,
that. If you really want that freedom, if you really want to get out of that rat race, if you need to invest your money and let your money works for you. A very solid way to do that is real estate. So, and talking about this, looks like we bring people from 1950 to 2050. 2050 is in the future, 1950 is in the past. So bringing those two times together is like day and night.
hmm,
But we are able to, we are still facing the hurdles, but we've seen the turnaround. We've seen people watching this podcast and buying houses. I've deal with at least two people like that. So that is a really success story, which
yeah,
even give me more will, more excitement to come here every night.
yeah,
Because if I can, in sales, for you to sell one product, you need to pitch it to 100 people. That is why a lot of people don't they are not successful in business, because you pitch your product to two people and they turn you down and you think that is it. No, you keep pitching to thousand million of people. That is how you get thousand people to buy from you. If you just pitch to two people, that is like point zero one of
ratio.
chance. Yeah, your chance of getting a sale. So, if we can have two people that have listen to this podcast and buy houses, then we have impacted thousands of life, because those people might not be in the situation to buy today, but they are in the process. They are thinking about it. They are reaching out already. So that's give me the belief that this has a future. So really happy to hit 1 year of doing this. I can't really quantify uh you know how I feel today, really. Uh, so another, let's move on. Another thing that I want us to discuss, Ibrahim, is um we just started, right? We don't really we discuss, we have planning, we have all this background, but there are people out there today that really want to do something, maybe not for real estate, but something similar. A lot of people have talked to me, but nobody take action. How
Hmm.
important is taking action to, even if you are not really want to do podcasting, in anything in life, how important is taking action?
Thank you. That's a very important and critical question. I say critical because if people can get a right answer, which is what we're going to provide today, it's definitely going to make a positive impact. So when you have a plan or idea or a business strategy and you studied from A to Z, if you're unable to take action, first of all, it's like you wasted your time, because what you have studied A to Z, you might as well use it to do something else. If you are going to do all that work, and all after that all you are doing is sitting down or procrastinating or all that, then it's like you just waste your time. You wasted your time. Now, what is the impact or what is the benefit of taking action? And I also go further and explain some of the reason why people seldom, they rarely take action. So the benefit, first of all, is that when you take action, it's like you have solved almost half of the problem, because taking action is the energy that gets you started. Like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this. You take action, boom. Okay, can you run into trouble when you take action?
Yeah.
It's possible. Can you get to the positive side and become, set yourself in the right path and keep going? Yes. But without taking action, you don't even know. You don't know what aspect you're gonna run into.
Yeah.
Everything is gonna look cloudy from the beginning. It get clearer when you start taking the walk. Without taking that step, everything's gonna still look cloudy. Read whatever you want to read. You have to take action. When you take action, after taking one or two steps, you will be seeing challenges, and also you'll be seeing solution to the challenges. Because by the way, almost everything has a solution. You are scared you're not gonna know the answer. That's fine. Reach out to people that knows the answer. You are scared that if the problem comes, how can you fix it? Trust me, it won't be the first problem in this whole wide world. You have to reach out to people that have, passed that stage. They've experienced that same problem. In fact, arguably, it might be something even more difficult than what you are currently experiencing. All you have to do is to reach out to those people, and they're going to tell you how you can maneuver, how you can get yourself back to the track. Why are people not taking action? There are various reasons. I can tell you some of them. I've mentioned one: procrastination, lack of burning desire to do something. It's one thing to wish that, oh, I want to become a real estate investor. Oh, I want to be this or that. But you have to see it in, like, when you're sitting down, any free time you have to be imagining that, like, you have to imagine you as an investor. You have to see yourself talking, dressing, presenting yourself as an investor. If you are presenting yourself to be someone else, you talk like someone else, no, some other people in another profession. That's what I meant. Like, you are representing yourself as another profession, but your desire is, or I shouldn't say desire, because if it's real desire, it will be so strong. But let's say your wish is something else. That means you are not matching the energy. It has to match to really get you the final answer. Because if it's not matching, you can easily get distracted. You can easily quit. By the way, we all know that winners never quit, quitters never wins. Quitter never win. So if you are doing a business or you are planning to be an real estate an investor, you have to be dedicated to what you are doing. You have to take action. When you take the first action, the challenges will come. Fine. Reach out to people, get more knowledge. The good news is you don't have to go too far. Reach out to Do the Top podcast. You have two knowledgeable people here. In fact, we have other guests that are very knowledgeable on this podcast. Reach out to us, get that valuable knowledge concerning how you can get yourself out of whatever challenges you are facing. By the way, challenges is not unique to real estate. Any kind of venture, any kind of investment you are getting to, there's always going to be a challenge. The main reason why people are not getting to taking action: procrastination, lack of burning desire, fear of criticism, fear of the unknown. That's a big one. It's really hard to solve that problem because when you don't even know what you are afraid of, just because you are creating excuses in your mind or in your brain. Because now most people like that, they when you ask them why are you scared, well, what about if this happened? Then if you are trying to logically explain to them or try to see what they are scared of, you find out it's still something else, because they'll say, okay, what about that one? What about this? Because that person, he or she is not sure. All he or she is thinking, our brain is that, do not fail. You might fail. If you fail, what's gonna happen? If you this, what's gonna happen? So, what am I saying here? All these factors are the things that are prohibiting or preventing some people to get into real estate investment. The fear of asking question. I should add that to it, because it's okay. You cannot. Nobody knows everything. But all you have to do is to reach out to people that know and ask question about that investment. Ask question about that venture. Ask question about that question that you have in your mind that is very critical to you, or essential for you to get to the next level. The benefit of taking steps is gonna help you get going. It's gonna show you the it's gonna lead you to that path of that financial freedom. Because when you take action, now by the way, when you're taking action, you see how it is. The challenges come your way. As long as you reach out to people, you connect yourself with people that are knowledgeable, you begin to see solution to your problem. And when you are seeing solution to whatever problem it is, it's gonna help build you. um you know you're gonna get rooted into that business, just because you are getting all this information, all this answer to this problem. You are putting it into practice, because without putting it into practice, it's still just knowledge that you are like you are just storing it in your brain. It has no value. You have to put it into action and test it out. In some area, they might tell you, oh, if you have a basement, if you have a three-car garage, because in this area they love three-car, because in that neighborhood almost all the houses has three-car garages, three-car garage, and they have, like, furnished basement and everything. Do that, is going to help your value of the home. Great. But you go to another area, they might tell you, well, in this area you don't need to have to worry about that. You just need to make sure it's a big living room, it's a big backyard, put some swimming pool, or put this, put that. So real estate is local. What am I trying to get to? I'm trying to get to the fact that you have to be rooted into wherever you are, get the knowledge from people that are there, connect with people, ask questions, try to see how you can you know benefit from, or how you can be ahead of your peers by, listen to podcasts. Do the talk is there. We are here to provide the knowledgeable, valuable education concerning real estate. Try to keep up with our podcast. Learn how to do real estate investment. Any investment you want to do, anything you want to do in life, you have to take action. You have to get started. Don't be afraid. Taking action will get you where you are going. Without taking any action, it's like, no, nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. It's like you want to win a lottery, but you never buy a ticket. How can you win? You have to buy that lottery ticket. Of course, you may lose the lottery ticket, but without buying, you can't even, win the money. But the good thing with real estate is when you lose in one transaction, trust me, you actually getting stronger. You are actually getting better for the next win, because real estate, it is not one of those stock market where you buy a stock, $200 now is $30 the next day, or $50 the next day. No, it doesn't work like that. Real estate is more steady, more reliable, more dependable, very tangible. So if you buy a good deal, or let's say you buy not so great deal, as long as you are ready to, you are flexible enough to, maybe change your strategies. Of course, you might have a plan to do normal lease, but now because you have a lot of expenses, you might have to switch to another strategy. That way, you can, maneuver yourself out of that challenges. So it's part of the things that you are going to be learning from us here, because we are not fixed. We are not fixated, rather, to a particular strategy. We follow our business based on what is going on in that locality, based on what is going on in that neighborhood. We are a flexible and knowledgeable investor, and that's how we all should be, because things change. In an area, they might tell you, oh, they don't want, short-term lease. Okay, a knowledgeable investor will go to the next one. And I'm sure all you guys, you get it, gist. So taking action is what will get you started. And by the time you start, you've already get into it. It's like you getting the ball rolling. Everything is, is getting greased, and it's getting, what you start an engine and everything is rolling. So the benefit of getting started is gonna get you that get you to that part, so you can be financially and financially successful in the real estate investment. So, Ahmed, it, that question is, it's very, it has a lot of benefit. So I'm trying to, go around it and try to see how I can, push out all the benefits that I can think of. But I'm pretty sure there are still other benefits, because nothing as important as you getting started in anything you are doing in life. Even if you want to go to school, you have to get started. You cannot just stay in one spot and just cover yourself under the pillow and you want to achieve what you, it's not possible. You have to get started. Take action. So, Ahmed, what are other benefits? What are other angle do you want our audience to look at it? Because we all know you are pretty knowledgeable about this, and we really like to hear from you. What do you think people can do?
Only if I'm gonna lie, that is when I'm gonna say you haven't covered it. So you've covered procrastination, which is a huge part of it. You've covered fear of unknown, fear of criticism, fear of failure, which is pretty much our brain preventing us, because the way our brain is wired is to keep us safe. Our brain is there for you to be safe. If you get shocked by an electricity today, tomorrow when you see that same thing, that same wiring, the first thing your brain is going to tell you is the event that happened yesterday.
Run, run.
So yes, so our brain is wired to actually keep us safe. But if you want to remain safe your entire life, then the riches is not for you. Being wealthy is not for you, because riches and wealthiness come with risk, calculated risk. I'm not saying you have a family that depend on you, you have a relative that depend on you, you have your brothers, your siblings that depend on you, then you go and take your life saving and put it on how will I put it, an investment that you don't know about. That
Yeah.
is not a risk. That is you gambling. Gambling is different from risk. Gambling
Yeah.
is you know this thing has zero probability and you still go with it. Calculated risk is when you have a chance,
Yeah.
you have a solid chance. You know this as there's a history of it working before now. So even if you run into trouble, you know there's a history of it working. So you have people you can run to ask questions of. So risk like that is worth taking because it is proven before you. You are not the first person inventing it. There's nothing bad in inventing stuff. That's not what I'm saying. But proving calculated risk is needed for wealthy and riches. Basic.
Yeah.
The last one is we mistaken the fact that this is something new from what we've discussed. So please, guys, pay attention to this. This actually happens to me so many times. We mistaken the fact that we buy the tools or we have the tools to do something to actually doing it.
Hmm.
Let me explain.
Explain, please.
You mistaken the fact that I want to read a book. Buying the book, now you have the tool, right?
Yeah.
To reading it. That is it is different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that have what it takes to become great singers, to become great actors, to become whatever they want, right? To become great, that people tell them all the time, if you actually venture into this, you are going to be great. But they didn't exploit it, so nobody knows them.
Hmm. That's a good one.
So don't mistake you having the tool to actually executing it. Execution is what will bring out whatever potential you have inside you.
Oh. Hmm.
Talent can stay hiding in your body forever if you don't exploit it. So we always mistake. I have bought a lot of courses just because I'm interested in it, and I didn't follow up with it anymore. So it's not just you. It's not as if we are saying, "Oh, you." No, 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 no. It happens to me every time. Because another thing take priority, I have to focus on that and be like, and life is, you have to know what is your priority at a particular time.
Yes.
So even sometimes I buy books and something take precedence and I'm like, okay, let me figure this out first before I come back to you. I still come back, but a lot of people will not. And we always get, if you get into a cycle of quitting, you will keep finding a reason to quit every single time. It's a very bad habit. So when you start something, make sure you I don't care what happened, make sure you finish it. Because once you quit once, you will keep finding a reason to quit.
You
It will
have
become
alibi.
easy. Yeah, it will become easy to quit on every other thing that gets difficult. So that is another thing that I just want to add. But honestly, you nailed it. You already explained procrastination. Of course, the fear is the biggest part for me, which you already knew. There's so many fear, even uncountable fears that people run into. Analysis paralysis is a fear
Yeah. Yeah.
because people get stuck in, oh, what if this, what if that, what
You
if
want to
this?
know everything from the beginning.
Oh, what will Ibrahim say if I make a mistake? That is fear of criticism. Who cares what Ibrahim thinks? Just do it. Ibrahim might even be happy that you do it and
Yes.
fail
Yeah.
than not doing it at all,
Yes.
because now you try.
Mhm.
And one thing in life is once you try something, it's not about you. You are setting the stage for other people to see and follow.
Yes.
That is one thing we are very, very selfish whenever we quit. Because quitting means that the next person that follows you, now we have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
That is what quitting means. When you quit, the people that are coming doesn't have an example to follow. So that is really, really bad. That is what I use personally to check myself, to measure myself when I want to quit. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not quitting this because now, no, the person coming behind me doesn't have a check mark, doesn't have a steps to follow, doesn't have plans, doesn't have someone to run to. It doesn't necessarily mean you will be the greatest because now the people following you will start from where you stop.
Yeah.
So they have the higher chance of being greater than you, which is the goal of us. So another thing I want us to dive into is the episode we've done in the past. We've done so many episodes. This is our 52nd episode, really, and we've talked about a lot of stuff. I want us to go back because I figured we might have a lot of people on here that just started watching us few weeks or few months back. And this will be helpful to just mention because we are celebrating 1 year of our podcast today. We've talked about how we started. We've talked about burning desire, why we keep showing up every Friday. And we've talked about if people want to start, what is the limiting belief that doesn't allow them to start. So now let's talk about the past episode.
Sure.
For me, I have a couple of them. I don't know if you have a couple, some with you, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Both of them.
so, but let me start. So, one of the episode that I think gets carry weight for me is episode 5. Please and please, you can view our podcast on YouTube. It is on Apple Play, Google Play, Google Podcast, on every podcast platform that you might be listening to your podcast from. We are on every podcast platform, honestly. Fact check me, go on your platform right now and check Do the Talk podcast. If you don't find us, call me, I will send you our link. So without further delay, credit score is what we discussed in episode 5. Credit score is major reason why a lot of people are still renting today. And because in our community, our culture, we are not taught credit. And that's factor one. Factor two is a lot of people that are immigrants to the US, uh, they started building their credit late. So every single thing that hits their credit negatively affects it a lot. So I think that episode it's even eye-opening to me. I go back and watch that episode every now and then. So I think if our audience I'm enjoying them to please go back and watch that episode. That episode is very critical. Even if you have a great credit score, there's still something to learn in that episode. So that for me is a huge hit for us. Another one is exit strategy. We discussed that in episode 7. Exit strategy is the reason why a lot of people today goes out and say, "Oh, I will invest $30,000 in real estate and I will be making 200 a month." That is because the exit strategy is what you know. You don't know other exit strategy that can bring you more money. So if you know that mindset, it's meant we change, right? So the exit strategy is a huge one. I am a property manager. I can help you with it, but learning it and knowing it yourself, it's a benefit. It's a benefit to you.
Yes.
So I'm not selfish to say I'm the only one that want to know it. It's out there. We already put it out there. It's just for you to go back. So episode 5 and episode 7 are to go back to. 8 and 9 is a really big one as well. 8 and 9 is basically why. Why are you not investing and why do you want to invest? Those two why are big. Why are you not investing? So part of it is what we've discussed today. And why are you investing? There's two things in those two episodes. So go back and watch those episodes because they will shape your mindset and put it in the right direction. You need a great mindset to invest in anything. Forget about real estate. A lot of people buy stock, and when they see it going down, they sell it. That is when you are losing. That is why you lose money, because you don't sell when it's going down. But if you have the right mindset, when your investment is not doing great, you don't freak out. You seek for knowledge. So those two are great ones as well. Episode 11, newbie mistake. That is the goal of this podcast, to correct the past mistake that we've made so that you don't run into the same thing. I think we should do that one more time in the coming weeks because that will be in a renewed version. There are some mistakes that I made today. I locked myself out of 2 units just this one. Different units. Lock myself out. I think I call you on one of them, and the other one happened today. So these are things that is very, very crucial. And if you don't have someone that explain them to you before now, you're probably going to run into them one day as well. So in order not to allow that to happen, that's why we have this podcast. So newbie mistake is a very big part of our existence here of Do the Talk. Newbie mistake is very, very great. Please go back to episode 11 to check. Episode 27. Episode 27 is how to buy your first renter. We understand that a lot of us are young, straight out of college. We are just starting life. This is a huge, important information that you need. Ibrahim is right here. He can help you all day, all night. But it's very, very good to have the background knowledge. That makes his job easier as well. I can help you manage it when you get them, but it is very helpful for you to have the background knowledge, because if I'm explaining some things to you, it doesn't sound like a foreign or Chinese language to you. So that is why I want us to go back to that episode, because it is very important to have the foundation knowledge. That is what I would call it. Foundation knowledge is all you need to start anything. Once you have that foundation knowledge, boom, every other thing will follow. You will make mistakes, you correct them, you move on. Ibrahim, I still have like 3 other, but I don't want to call all of them, because if I'm to call all episode, I'm just going to say go and watch all our episode. Do
Yeah.
you have any particular ones that stand out to you?
Yeah. Well, if you look at week 15, networking in real estate, it is very important because it's not just for you having multiple investment, but it also helps with the fear of not taking action, because we know a lot of people want someone to hold their hand and really guide them from A to Z. With real estate investment, we know that theory is different from practical, and you being a good network, it's going to help you to succeed in the real estate journey, investment journey. So I kind of see that as an interesting topic, because I know besides getting you the lead, it's going to help you to stay afloat and become, successful in the real estate. So I think it's very important to have good network, um, and also not just having the network. By the way, we kind of, we dive into it and we explain the importance of leveraging on networking. Like, you have to really be engaged, participate. Not, it's one thing to be, oh, I'm in so team, that versus someone who is in the team, is participating in the team event, showing some value in the team, which is reaching out to people, telling them that this is what he or she is doing, letting people know that that person is very confident and not ashamed to be criticized. Because at the end of the day, even in a team, A lot of people that have problem of a fear of being criticized on, they still they are there, just there, like they are not participating just because they still have that fear. So you being a team, you still have to do more, like get involved in that team event, get involved in the activity, let people see the energy in you. By you doing so, a lot of people, energy attract energy, a lot of people are gonna be attracted to you, just like how me and Ahmed attracted, into doing this, for you guys. A lot of people are gonna be attracted into you, and by the way, you are going to benefit positively in that, you know, in the real estate investment that you are trying to, or that you are working towards. So networking is very important to me, because it's really gonna get you going, and it will definitely improve and get you to a better stand, financially, investment wise and all that. So I think I find that interesting. And also the last one that is very big, we actually talk about this all the time, because it is the, in fact, we've talked about this today. It's call to action. I can't repeat this. I mean, I can't stop repeating this. I will always repeat this. Without taking action, everything you have learned is just like you are storing it, and it makes there's no value to it if you cannot practice what you have learned. So having taken action is what really gets you to where you're going. It's like you are testing the knowledge that you have. Will there be challenges? Of course, yes. And that's when you know that all the knowledge you have, it's not perfect, because we all know nobody is perfect. By taking action, you are going to see the weaknesses, you are going to see the challenges, and all those challenges, by having good networking, by being open-minded, asking question, you will be able to conquer that problem. So I like call to action, and I like being, you know, networking with other people, being flexible, being friendly, being approachable, being open-minded, being reliable. Because you have to show value. You have to show that someone can depend on you. If you say A, it's A. If it changes to B, are you going to let that person know that I'm sorry, now it's B because of I didn't realize, or something happened, unfortunately I did not know it looks like A but now it's B? Or are you the kind of person that it changes to B, or it's already B but you saying it's A, and when you realize it's B, are you the one that's still gonna say it's A even though you know it's B? So that tells that person or anyone that is trying to, get or provide value to you, that you are not a reliable person, because you cannot be dependable on. You cannot be dependent on just because you are not trustworthy. So being a team, networking with people, it comes with, there are a lot of things you have to present, show that you are the kind of person that will properly manage the energy they transfer to you, or the energy they are passing to you, just because everyone wants to make sure they are working with the right person.
Yeah.
You demonstrating that value, the exceptional character, it's going to help you to get to that financial success sooner than you ever imagined or expected. So Ahmed, um those two are really big for me, because it's really gonna help you get to where you're going. So I kind of, I believe everyone should have those value in them. What are what are the thing, like what are other stuff we can talk about tonight that you think it's also important, like, we talked about loan before. We talked about how people, you mentioned about credit score, which is a big one. What about the capital, the down payment that people think they have to have a down payment. Of course, we know there are other strategies. What are the little stuff we can talk about tonight that will make people feel more confident in, in getting into real estate investment?
So I used to mention this all the time. You need three things to do real estate, but you actually need two, not all of them. One is capital, the other one is time, and the last one is you need to be knowledgeable. So you can do with two of those three, and you will be fine. So you can have two and use the two that you have to negotiate yourself and get the third one.
Great.
So that's capital you mentioned is one of them. Of course, there are ways around it. It's not a obstacle. It's a challenge, but you can maneuver around it. You just have to get your way and use your time judiciously and opt your knowledge. So why there is way around it on the investment side. Even governments encourage us to buy real estate. So there's a lot of loan products out there that government will support you on. And I know if you check with Ibrahim, there are ways if you qualify. I'm not a loan officer. Let me declare that before I say this. But I believe Ibrahim has done this so many times. You can get into your house without even having a down payment.
Yeah.
You just have to ask questions. You just have to opt your knowledge. You just have to reach out to the right people and use your time judiciously. Use your time to reach out to them. Use your time to update yourself on this information, and you can become a homeowner. So capital is a challenge. It's not an obstacle. It's not something that should be a roadblocker for you, which is why we bring this podcast, like just to make all this conversation a public knowledge, just to make all this conversation a regular thing. We don't discuss money, and that is kind of crazy, in my opinion, because everybody, if you ask people that go to work in the morning and come in the evening, why are they doing it? They will say, "Hey, man, I got to pay my bills." It's our life revolve around money. We hardly talk about it. So it is something that we take as a challenge on our own to normalize. We want to make it normal conversation that people feel comfortable discussing, because we know it's hard, it's challenging, it's personal issue, but we need to come together as a whole to be able to execute a lot of things and get out of rat race. That is the goal. That is the goal, to have our time back, to have our to be able to bring our creativity out. So uh capital is huge, and we've talked about it so many times on this podcast, Ibrahim. You remember we discussed traditional. I remember. I think it's episode 2. Let me check real quick. Yeah, episode 2, traditional financing, and episode 3 is non-traditional financing. So
Yeah.
we already talked about how you can get into a deal if you have money, and if you don't, it's not a problem. We talk about it in episode 3 how you can get into it. So really, all you just need to do is keep coming to Do the Talk podcast. If you have time, go back on the episode we've done and see which one you really want to learn more about, the ones that are directly related to your situation as of this moment, and watch the video on them. We've talked about pretty much all the questions you have. But if you feel like we leave something out, we didn't really touch them, bring it to the next episode and ask that question and we will answer it. Or if you can even type your question on those videos and we get those answers back to you. So pretty much, uh I'm not sure if I answered the question of the capital, but I just want to really mention to our audience that we've done so many episodes and we've touched so many things that you can have questions about. Just try look at the portfolio we have on YouTube or any other platform you listen to your podcast on, and just search Do the Talk podcast and look at what really can be directly applied to your condition right now. What I'm doing right now is different from what Ibrahim is doing. Everybody in their particular in a particular time of their life, they have different things they are going through. They are building up. They so things will be different, but the goal is the same. The goal for both of us is the same, but the way we are going about it, or things that are obstacle for me, is not what is obstacle for Ibrahim. Things that are obstacle for Ibrahim is not what is obstacle for me. But being able to come together and share idea, we can maneuver quickly than doing it individually. That is the goal of this podcast. So, Ibrahim, do I answer your question or?
Very well. Honestly, you did so great. Very well, because you touch all the critical aspect of it, and I'm pretty sure our audience will benefit from that. Unfortunately, we are we are at the top of the time. It's 9:02 right now. So currently, I don't have anything to say but to thank our audience, because they've always been there for us. And please share this with your friend, your family, your coworker. It's Do the Talk podcast. We are committed. We become here every Friday, and we love what we are doing. We want us to learn, grow, and be successful financially, and be financially independent as soon as possible. We don't believe in you have to be 65, 72 before you can be financially independent. We don't believe that at all. We want, in fact, if it is possible, we want you to be financially independent at 18 years old. The reason why I chose not to mention anything less than 18, because 18 is the legal age. So I don't want anything about underage or anything. So we want us to be financially independent at 18 years old if it's possible. Of course, we know that real estate is not a get rich quick scheme. And that's why I'm not really pushing that tonight. I'm just saying, like, we are desperate. We are committed. When I say desperate, it's not the negative side, it's the positive side. We are hungry to be financially independent. We are eager. Maybe I should correct myself. I shouldn't say desperate. We are eager. We have that burning desire. We are very passionate to be knowledgeable and financially independent. Ahmed, do you have anything to say before I ask you to just give your information and everything?
No, not really. I just want to say this is a 1 year of this podcast, and we cannot see we can decide to be coming here, but if you guys are not joining or are not supporting us, it's nothing because we are doing this for you. Likewise, if you guys are showing up and we don't, so I just want to give kudos to you guys. But the most important thing is where we go from here. The most important thing is what we do from here. So let's keep sharing this content because we want to normalize this. We want good for everybody. That is basically the goal. So let's keep sharing this, even if it is you are not ready to buy a property right now, you are not ready to invest right now. If you know someone that is saving their money in bank, they are losing their money. They are losing the value because inflation is eating into that money every single time. 10,000 in 2015 is not 10,000 today. What 10,000 can buy in 2015 is not what 10,000 can buy today. That is what I meant. So please keep sharing this, keep giving us your constructive comments. We are open to improvement. So we've been doing this every Friday night, and it's just so like Ibrahim said, I'm desperate. I'm not going to take that back. Honestly, I'm desperate to be financially free because it is what I want so badly right now. It is on top of my list of anything that comes right now. Financial freedom is number one. So you are not wrong by saying that we are, honestly, because that is why we think doing this with everybody else make more sense. So we are not selfish about it. We are coming here to explain every step of the way that we've been taking. So it's not just one guru out there that you can relate to that is talking to you. It is regular people just like you. I'm just like you. So, Ibrahim, if people want to reach out to you, they want to buy a house, they want to, new real estate agent, they want to get under your brokerage, how can they reach out to you?
Yes, you can go to IB Realtors at on Instagram, DM me. You can go, what's TikTok, IB Realtors, WhatsApp, IB Realtors, or you can call me 317-728-0213. Anything concerning real estate, I am open to it. Ahmed, how can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. You can DM me on Instagram. It will be fast there, but you can message me as well on 317-689-7071. Until next week, stay blessed.